for Theresa May. Theresa May secretly agrees to a £50 billion Brexit deal with the Mail on Sunday splash.
Yeah, I will do. I mean, it's interesting about the headlines because you have most of the broadsheets are focusing on Brexit, but a number of the tabloids are focusing on what's happened to Wayne Rooney. So there's two worlds in opposition here, Brexit world and Wayne's world, and that says, I think, a lot of the public, actually outside of elections, politics is a minority sport.
Transitional deal during which we stay inside the single market and the customs union. And you've welcomed that in a piece you've written, I think, for the Sunday Telegraph,
yes,
Caroline. But there are lots of people in the Labour Party who think, yeah, hey, this is our chance to avoid Brexit entirely. It goes on forever. Tom Watson has said it could be permanent. What's your message to them? Well,
I don't think that's can be the case. I mean, I said, over a year ago now, that the idea that we wouldn't have to have transition plans was nonsense. And we had Brexiteers saying, oh, we know we can just go. Some saying we could, just finish it all in March 2019. And then there were others on the Remain side who seemed to think we can have our cake and eat it. We can be full members of the single market and the customs union. And in some respects, some of those are taking from what Keir Starmer said, the idea that somehow this will allow us to reverse the decision. I totally disagree with that.
So you disagree with Tom Watson on this?
I disagree that it can be a permanent position. Yes, I do, because we are leaving the European Union. And actually, as my op-ed in the Sunday Telegraph makes clear, is in Keir's own words in his article a few weeks ago, he says that we are exiting the European Union. We will exit in March 2019. The transition is a transition. However, it is completely reasonable that Keir should point out that actually, whilst we're in this transition, being in the single market and the customs union until things are resolved has to be the case. But he recognises we can't be full members and change freedom of movement, and we have to change freedom of movement.
And that's part of the theme of the David Davis
piece. It is, and I mean, obviously, David Davis, you're interviewing later on, he's talking about, Labour's only motivation has been pursuit of chaos. I do think probably there are some colleagues who want to think about ways that they can delay the inevitable. But I also read in the bottom of David's article that for my part I will work with anyone of any party to make it happen. Now I think one of the faults of the government is they haven't been open to working cross-party in a sensible way. And here's an opportunity. Maybe you could ask him today. He could ask Keir Starmer to actually be part of the discussions about how we leave the European Union and maintain good business and good opportunities.
But if he is opening the hand of friendship, will you, for instance, back the government in this vote?
Oh, well, I'm very clear that I'm not going to try and disrupt us leaving the European Union. Having said that, there are legitimate questions to be asked as we take this bill through Parliament, and that's fair enough. But I'm not going to be involved in wrecking for wrecking's sake. I don't think that's the right way forward.
Some of Keir Starmer's specific worries about Henry VIII powers, whatever it might be, you would share. But
I would share that. Yes, I would share that. And I think, as we've seen in a discussion just before Parliament rose on the nuclear agency Euratom, there clearly are some of these issues to be sorted out. Let's not forget, though, Andrew, is part of this bill is actually adoption. It should be called the Great Adoption Bill, because actually we're going to be adopting wholesale all the frameworks that currently exist, and then looking to how we're going to actually make sure we move forward. So I think it's a language and tone in this is vitally important, and I absolutely think that the government were daft a year ago to talk about somehow we should leave with no deal at all. I don't think that's helpful language.